Hey everyone, it's Tamara from Soft Glam with Tam. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining. Today I wanted to do a romantic nude neutral makeup look, something that anyone can wear anytime, and it's about like a flushed glow, and I really am excited for you to learn step by step how to get this look. So the first thing I'm going to do is prep my skin and keep it really hydrated for a glowing look before we do our romantic neutral nude look. And I find right now skin is really in. So showing your skin instead of covering it all up for a fresh spring look is really nice. And I want to start by just prepping my skin, and we're going to focus today on bronze skin. And just keep it more glowing for the spring. So I'm going to start with the Vitamin Enriched face base, and this is a Bobbi Brown moisturizer, and it's also a primer. And I'm going to use this just to prep my skin a little bit more before any of the products that I use. So I'm going to use the Vitamin Enriched face base. And I'm going to use this to prep my skin to give it that glow before any makeup. So you just want to make sure that you use this to hydrate your skin. And this smells lovely. It has a bit of carrot and shea in it and vitamin C. So it's great for a treatment for your skin, but also prepping your skin before makeup. And I always use my moisturizer on the back of my hands, especially because I have eczema, and I find that my hands are so dry in the winter. So I think that using your hand cream, especially on the back of your hands, is also an anti-age for your hands as well. So my skin is just nice and prepped. So for a glowing look, I want to use today, I don't want to use foundation. I actually just want to use glowing products to enhance my skin. And I love the Saie Bronze Glow Gel. And I'm going to use this mixed in with my sunscreen. So for this look today, I'm going to use the Bronze Saie Glow Gel. And I'm going to use my favorite La Roche-Posay, this is SPF 50 Anthelios Mineral SPF. It has a tint in it. And I actually love using this in the summer. But I find for this specific look, mixing it with a bronzing gel will give you a glowing bronzed look. So I'm going to mix it together in my hands, and I'm actually just going to apply it right on my skin. So this is going to even out my skin a little bit, but also protect it and give a bronze glow. So I'm finding right now the trend is blurred makeup. So blurred soft focus makeup is very flattering. And also I find that a lot of the editorial makeup looks, the look is very glowy and ethereal, almost like the skin looks angelic. So I really think it's flattering on everyone. So I'm going to use a sunscreen with a tint. So this is what I've used so far. Okay, so that is the base for my complexion right now. And I'm also going to use a concealer, and I'm going to place this is Givenchy. It's a concealer, and I'll write the shade down. I think it's N312. And this I got in the summer when I was really tanned, but I still like it because it kind of acts as a quick base. So using a liquid concealer in strategic placement can act as a foundation, which is very trendy as well right now. So I'm just going to apply a little bit under my eye. And I'm actually going to just use it in areas that I just want to blend. Yeah, so it looks a little silly at first, and then you're going to blend. So right now I'm noticing that a lot of times when we see makeup tutorials, it almost looks like we're baking a cake, like we're mixing batter. And I don't know if that's flattering, but I feel like just blending your colors together, it does really make a difference on your skin. So however you want to blend. So I'm using a foundation brush, and I'm just using the concealer to even out my skin. It also is a little bit warmer, so it gives a glow as well. Yeah, so I find that using a liquid concealer as a base is a nice way if you don't feel like wearing foundation. So I'm going to use my fingertip to gently blend the concealer and make sure it's warmed into the skin. So even natural no makeup makeup is a couple of steps. So, but it's not too time consuming, which is great. So blending is key. Okay, so that was the Givenchy concealer on top of my base. And yeah, it's giving me a glow. The next step, I also want to show you a really exciting product, which I love, is the Merit foundation stick. I think it's called Skin Minimalist Stick. And I'm a fan of foundation sticks. I've always loved a stick. Back in the day, I think I used a L'Oreal foundation stick that got discontinued. And I've used Bobbi Brown foundation stick. I just love sticks. I find they're very easy to use. So this is the Merit brand, and this is Sand. This is the name of the shade, Sand, and it's a stick. So a stick is very creamy and smooth. So I love using this as a top-up. And I'm going to use this on top of my liquid concealer just to kind of give a little bit more coverage where needed. And a stick is great for traveling, so I just love a stick foundation. I don't know if you can see that. It just gives a little bit more lift under the eye. And I'm going to just use it a little bit around my mouth area and chin as well, and around my nose, sorry. So find your perfect shade of a foundation stick and you can't go wrong. And you can just use that on the go. And I can just cover up any areas that just need a little bit of coverage. And just between the eyebrows, it kind of takes away that redness. And you can just use your fingertip to gently pat it on. And I also love it a little bit under the arch of the eyebrow. Yeah, I forgot about this stick foundation, and I just found it in my makeup kit that I had put aside, and I'm loving the Merit stick. Okay, so, and this lasted me for over a year so far, so very good investment. Okay, so this is my base so far. Feels really natural and glowy. And the next step, I would say, I'll just add, I'm going to go into bronzer because I think that a sun-kissed look is essential, especially when you want to look a little bit more romantic, and the nudes or neutral makeup, bronzer is a key item. So I'm going to use a bronzing powder. And this is a palette that I got at Christmas. So I don't know if they sell this all the time. This is the Benefit palette. And this one is called Game On Glow from Benefit. It has the Hoola bronzer. It has a beautiful blush. This one's called Shellie. And this is a highlighter called Cookie, which is really pretty. So I'm going to use a fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into my palette, and I'm going to tap off into the mirror, and I'm going to use this where the sun would hit. So I'm going to apply this on the temples, the cheekbone, down the jawline, and again on the other side. Almost like a 3. Okay, and you can always take it a little on the neck, but I'm wearing a turtleneck, so can't see my neck. And I'm going to do it on the bridge of my nose and a little bit just to, yeah, give a sun-kissed look where the sun would hit. And I always pop it a bit into my crease. So it's just enhancing the warmth of my skin. And Hoola, I keep saying Hulu, sorry, Hoola bronzer is a universal shade for many skin tones. And I'm going to come back to the powder blush in here, but I think I'm going to actually go into a little bit on the eyes. So I did have a bit of my eyebrow pencil on earlier because I took my son to school early this morning and I need my eyebrows on just the littlest bit, but I can just enhance it quickly. So I was using the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in light brown, and I like that for a no makeup look. I find a lighter brow pencil sometimes just kind of, especially if you don't have full eyebrows, you have more sparse eyebrows, a lighter brow pencil can define your shape quickly. But if you want, you can go back into a slightly darker tone and just define a little bit more. So this is the Benefit brow pencil that has a little bit more color to it. And I'm just going to apply that just where the natural hair is, and yeah, just to kind of define it a little bit more. Just see if I can do it better in the camera. Yeah, didn't really make a difference. But I love a little spoolie just to brush it through. And then what I like to do is go back in with my stick foundation and just make sure that I've, it's kind of like cleaning up your eyebrow with a stick. It almost acts as well as an eyeshadow. So you can apply it just lightly on your eyelid if you want as a quick eyeshadow base. And if you have dark eyelids, that's a nice idea. Just pop your stick foundation a bit on top. And, oh, I think it was a little blurry there. We go. So now I'm going to apply some cream eyeshadows. So this look is about blended, blurred makeup that's polished and fresh. So I'm going to use the Modern Rose Cream Eyeshadow Stick from Laura Mercier. This is a really nice shade for everyone. Oh, it's broken. That's not what I expected today. So I'm going to use a concealer brush and get what's in there. That's a shame. So this, actually, I'm not even going to use that anymore. Okay. So now I'm going to use okay. So now I'm going to use a cream eyeshadow. This one is the Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Stick in Golden Bronze. And I'm just going to use that as an eyeliner because it's sort of a darker bronze. And it will act as a quick eyeliner slash shadow close to my lashes. And then I'm just going to use a little brush to blend that out. So what I love about cream eyeshadows is they don't have to be perfect. You just get it on and go. And it's great for multitasking as well because you can use it as your cream shadow and your eyeliner. So this is Golden Bronze, and it just sort of gives a quick pop to the eye for this romantic kind of look. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of I have this beautiful sparkle eyeshadow from a palette from Charlotte Tilbury, and I've used it before in another video, but I just find a pink sparkle. So no matter what brand it is, this is Charlotte Tilbury, but you can use any pink kind of golden sparkle shadow to get a really fresh romantic look. So I'm going to apply that on top of the cream. And the benefit of using it on top of a cream is it's going to actually last longer. So whenever I use this eyeshadow, it just stands out and looks really pretty without it being boring. A bit of pink sparkle is still neutral, but it pops your eyes. Okay, and then I'm going to use another brush just to buff that out a little bit. So I'm just going to take a closer mirror and I'm just going to make sure that I am just buffing. I just like how quick and easy that was. So that's a really nice romantic rosy gold eyeshadow. And using your fingertip at first, it just sort of packs it on there. Yeah, I really love that look. And I'm going to go back in with a dark brown eyeliner, and I'm just going to use that really close to my lashes. And I'm just going to use it more to the end of my lashes. And then just using a softer brush, to buff that. And smudge that out a bit. So this is nice. It just kind of enhances your eyes. It's very quick and easy. And after that, I'm going to use a bronze eyeliner, and I love using that in my lower lash line just to kind of define. And again, always smudge it out. Yeah, so that's my smudgy, bronzy brown liner look. Awesome. So now I'm going to just go back in with my stick foundation, and I'm just going to make sure that nothing fell under the eye. Okay, and now I'm going to just add a little bit of a highlight in the inner corner. So I like to use something a little bit shimmery. And I'm going to just use that in the inner corner of my eye, just to highlight in that area. So I don't know if you can see that, but it sort of opens up your eyes to kind of use a champagne or gold, light gold color just in the inner corner of your eye. And I'm gonna just use a nice mascara now. I also got this really pretty makeup bag. It was a gift with purchase from Tarte, but I just love this bag. So I feel like it just makes me happy, and it's kind of a romantic pink color. And I'm just going to use a mascara. And this is a cute little mini Tarte mascara. And this one's nice, it's not drying. So this is called the Light Camera Lashes Mascara. And I'll just use a closer mirror. So I'm just going to wiggle and fan at the root. So this has a nice brush on it. It's not clumping at all, really. It's more lengthening. It gives a little bit of volume. I'm kind of loving not wearing too much mascara on the bottom these days. I just find it kind of opens up your eyes a little bit more. But definitely to each their own, whatever you love. And I just need a cotton swab to make sure nothing fell under the lashes. Okay, so how is this romantic look going? This is great. So this would have been perfect for Valentine's, which already passed, or Galentine's Day. But also there's always, you know, a time for date night or just a day of self-care and loving yourself and wanting to look beautiful all the time. So yeah, I'm really loving this look. So the next step I'm going to do is a little bit more bronzer, but I'm actually going to use this pretty palette that I got from Sephora, and this had 4 colors in it. It's called Medium to Tan. It was a colorful face palette. I don't even know if they sell these anymore. They might. They're pretty, and they sell them individual. They do have colors similar if you want individual shades, but it has pure bronzy colors in it. So I can never be too bronzed. I'm going to use a smaller brush, and I'm going to use this sort of medium bronze tone, and I'm just going to put a bit more bronzer on. I just don't think you can go wrong with a little more bronzer. A little on the jawline. So this is sort of a monochromatic look as well, because I'm using the same tones on eyes, lips, and cheeks. That's sort of the idea. And this one also has, I'm just blending that out. This has a really pretty highlighter as well that's kind of bronzy. So I'm just using that with a pointier brush on the high points of my face and down the bridge of my nose. Okay, and I can't tell if this looks a little too orange on one side, so that's why your stick foundation comes in handy. So I'm going to just make sure that nothing looks too crazy. Okay, definitely look really a lot more bronzy than when I started. And now I'm going to actually do my favorite part, which is blush. So for a romantic nude neutral look, I would say using a liquid blush is a nice idea, or a cream blush. And I really love the Rhode Pocket blushes. So which colors do I have on hand? Okay, I think I'm going to use a little bit of Freckle and Sprinkle. So this is a peachy color from Rhode called Freckle, and I'm just going to use that with my fingertip. It gives a really pretty peachy tone on the cheeks. So that's Freckle. And I'm going to use Sprinkle, which is a nice, kind of goes with my sweater a little bit. It's got a cooler pink tone to it. So again, it's like baking a cake, you're adding layers, but you don't want anyone to see your layers. That's the whole point. So you can use many products, just make sure they're blended. So this is giving that romantic look, like I'm just flushing or blushing. This is a pinky tone. Okay. And the other day, I also got this really pretty, I don't even know what this is. It's a liquid highlighter slash blush. It's called Man Eater. So perfect name. It's called Tarte Man Eater. It's blush and glow. It's a really pretty pink. Now, I thought this was a lip gloss, and I quickly learned this is not a gloss. It really did not feel or taste good on the lips. This is a blush glow highlighter. So to complete this look, I'm going to apply just one dot, and I'm going to buff that out with a little foundation brush. And it has a pretty shine to it. So it just is nice if you're going for dinner and there's candlelight, you have a little bit of a sheen. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cute. It's nice and long lasting because it's a stain. Yeah, so that kind of locks that in. And then I would just finish with some powder and then get into a nice lipstick. So I'm going to use, I'll probably just use the Laura Mercier powder, which I love. And this is the Laura Mercier Translucent Honey Loose Ultra Blur Powder. Great for a blurred effect. So it blurs out pores, it's hydrating with hyaluronic acid. So it's more than just a powder. And I'm just gonna apply that in the T-zone where I don't want the shine. And I can just apply a little bit under my eyes as well. And it kind of just blurs and softens everything. Okay, so that is with the powder, and then with lips, so I've noticed that sort of a blurred liner is nice, and it makes the lips look fuller. It's quite trendy right now, but it's a very flattering look for anybody. So I'm going to use, I think I'm actually going to use my Nude Sticks lip liner, which I love. So this is my favorite Nude Stick Lip and Cheek Pencil. It's in a soft matte. It's actually called Intense Matte. And this shade is, I think it's called Sun-Kissed Pink. I'm gonna use this, sorry, I'm just gonna clean this off because it's quite mucky there. I'm going to use this on to define. So you want to line your lips. And soften it. So it's about softening your lip liner so you're not seeing the edges. So it's pretty for this blurred lip look. And then I would probably just add a gloss on top. You can also just keep it matte, so it depends on your preference. So I love, there's this really pretty, it's called CoverGirl, and it's CoverGirl, sorry, it's called Blur. So this is also keeping with that blur trend. That's nice, a soft matte look. So I just use it and I just pat it on. This is a dream of a lipstick. It feels really creamy, and it doesn't show the lines in my lips, so it's like blurring my lip liner. So this is a pretty matte, rosy nude. And if you wanted to add a gloss on top, you could totally add a gloss. And I'm loving, I picked this up from Shoppers, or our drugstore in Canada that sells beauty products, Shoppers Drug Mart. And this is the Jelly Job. It's by NYX NYX in a peachy tone. Oh, can't open this. Let me use my sweater. Oh. Okay. So now I have this NYX, it's called Jelly Job. It's a lip gloss, and it's pretty. It's a nice peachy glow, kind of a pinky nude, and I'm just going to apply it just in the center because I want to keep it not overly glossy. Yeah, so just to complete the look of a rosy nude lip. Okay, last, if you want to add more highlighter, go ahead, because that's going to give your skin a glow too. And I love this. Where's my brush? Yeah, this is a good brush. Okay, so I'm going to use the Cookie highlighter and use that on the top of my cheekbone. Just to finish the look. And use a little bit under my brow bone, just slightly. So that kind of just adds a bit of highlight. And I always just take my brush at the end and make sure everything's blended out. Okay. And sorry, one last thing. Sometimes I find liquid blushes are absolutely stunning, but if you find that you're oilier, adding a powder blush on top of your liquid, you'll get longevity. So let's just finish with Shellie from Benefit, this powder blush. It's sort of like a peachy nude, and I'm just going to smile and just apply that on the apple of my cheek. Just for that little bit more longevity. But yeah, so I'm really loving this look, and this is my romantic nude makeup for date night or every day, anytime you want to look romantic and blushing, I would say, with this blush. And yeah, I'm really loving it. So I'm just going to take out my clips. And yeah, hopefully I have somewhere to go after this. So I just want to thank everyone for watching today, and I hope you learned something new. Please like and subscribe if you're liking my videos, and I'm so excited to see you on the next one. Thank you.